Coming up on this edition of KnightCast, we will look back on last week's big district win over the Westgate Tigers. We'll also have the updated Juwan Johnson watch numbers, plus Jalen Noel on back-to-back breakout games. We'll also go inside to the three-peat state champions and talk to the number one player in the state, senior Cam Williams.
Good.
All this coming up and more on KnightCast. Welcome in, everyone. Jay Miller here alongside of my co-host, Amy Kane. Amy, good to see you tonight. We have an exciting show for you right here on KnightCast. Amy, homecoming week at LCA, a coach's worst nightmare, all that on the show tonight.
Well, Professor, let me tell you, another district win on the road last Friday night. Now, homecoming festivities full swing this week. You know, I was with the kids a little bit earlier this week, and it must have been Disney Day. They don't hesitate to go all in on the costumes. Crazy good costumes.
Every day, new costume, superhero, pajama night.
I mean, they do it right. We do have an all-time new leader in tackles. That was crowned this week. And we're going to go inside boys basketball so that we can have a look and a talk with Cam Williams. I love Cam.
Great player.
Cam. Yes,
it's going to be fun
absolutely.
to watch. Thank you all once again for tuning in tonight. We sure hope that you're enjoying this new segment of Night Athletics that we're calling KnightCast. Amy, can you believe it's our 8th episode this week?
8 episodes, and we haven't killed each other.
And here's
amazing.
Crazy. People are still watching.
I know.
I'm so glad this was my idea.
That's a joke.
Tonight, we have some gift cards to give away, some LCA merch. We'll talk about last week's dominating performance on the road. Plus, we're going to look ahead to tomorrow night, homecoming, with the Patriots of North Vermilion coming to Knight Field for another district matchup and for the first time in school's history. But first, we want to thank our sponsor tonight, Ragin' Cajun Construction, Rusty and Aaron Broussard. Thank you for your continued support, faithful support of Night Athletics. Everybody go to RagingCajunConstruction.com for all information there.
Well, you know, Jay, when I thought of doing a show like this, I thought that one of the great things about it would be that we could really take a look at the highlights and get into more of exactly what makes this team as special as it is. And last week, we absolutely got to see that. It was, of course, another district matchup on the road against Westgate. Now, this was the second week in a row that the Knights were on the road. They're coming into that game. They're 6-1, 2-0 in district play. Now, 2 weeks from tonight, most likely going to be when the matchup happens with STM, and that will probably be for the district title. But before we get there, well, we have to do away with the Westgate Tigers and then, of course, the Patriots. Let's start with the Tigers, and let's go straight to the highlights. The Knights are going to win the toss. They get the ball first. It didn't take very long. After a great kick return by Brennan Walker, the Knights start at the Westgate 38-yard line. The first play, Juwan to Jalen Noel for 11 yards. That was just the start of Noel's big night. Next up, Juwan to Calvin Parker. He takes it to the 9-yard line, and that is going to set up 1st and goal. On the next play, Juwan right back to Noel. He goes untouched. That's an early 7-0 lead for the Knights. Let's go to the second possession. The Knights, more of the same. This time, Juwan, he keeps it 15 yards. He's taking it down to the Tigers' 7-yard line. 2 plays later, Juwan says, I got this one all by himself, fellas. He's in. It's now 14-3, and it's just the first quarter. The Knights' defense, nothing short of spectacular all night long. They held the Tiger offense to 34 yards in the first half and 1 first down. It's plays like this all night long for the reason why. Sam Taylor and company all over the Tigers. The next Knight's possession, the 50-yard line. Who did you go to for a 50-yard run? Jalen Noel, 50 yards, his second TD on the night, and he finishes with 135 yards rushing, 49 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Next up, Melvin Hills in the backfield. He records another sack on his career. The LCA defense, they held the Tigers to a total of 84 yards on the night. The next play, Cooper Martin, Seth Offord, Sandy Lewis, these guys all over the field. Man, the defense just flying around making plays. The Knights, they will drive into the red zone late in the third quarter. Juwan, he takes it himself yet again, 7 yards out. Juwan rushes for 127 yards on the night. It's now 28-3. Jay, take it from here.
After that stifling defense of the Knights forces a punt, Juwan takes over from the 44-yard line, and what does he do? He goes untouched for 44 yards, that's what. Scores his third rushing touchdown on the night, 35-3 late in the third quarter. Tigers scored late in the game, and after the Knights pulled their starters on the next possession, Calvin Parker says, Jalen, you win 44. I'll go 57 yards to the house. Calvin Parker, the third, mind you. That would be your final from Westgate High. LCA Knights 42 and the Tigers of Westgate 11. With that win, the Knights go to 7-1 on the season, 3-0 in district play. They hold their number 2 ranking on GoPreps.com, and they continue to hold their number 3 ranking statewide on Max Preps all classes.
You know, though, last Friday, the Knights were in the red zone 4 different times, and they came away with 0 points. So, dudes, all due to penalties, a few sacks, several different factors added up. So, after the game, Reagan caught up with Hunter Landry. He talked about the defensive looks by the Tigers.
We were Coach Hunter Landry. Coach, we noticed a lot of defensive changes, a lot of formations we've never seen really anybody do. What was it like? You know, you're also the offensive coordinator calling against it. Was that something we saw on film or no?
No. I knew going into it we might see a different look from them just because you know, it was something that we hadn't seen yet. I expected a little bit of pressure from them, but kind of not from that, you know, that defense. But, you know, hats off to them. You know, they kind of slowed us down a little bit. But once we got some creases, you know, we were able to, you know, hit on a few big plays. Calvin Parker, Jalen Noel did a really good job for us.
Congrats on the win again. I'm going to look into next week. Next week's homecoming week. You had a lot of high school guys on the team with all of the drama of homecoming week. What's the message to the team and to the players to keep their head focused for North Vermilion?
Yeah, I think it's every coach's worst nightmare is homecoming week. So, you know, we just tell the kids that you know, homecoming week is for the, you know, the other students to kind of celebrate, and they get to celebrate on Friday by playing a football game. So, you know, hopefully they know what the mission is and they can understand, you know, where we're coming from as coaches and, you know, look at the bigger picture.
Absolutely. Enjoy the win.
Final score was 42-11. Can you imagine if they score on those first and goals? Now, the Knights defense did do its job, though. They held the Tigers to 84 total
84
yards.
total yards.
Yeah.
That's total means the whole game, right?
Yes, the whole game. That's what they hold them to. And, you know, it's all because of the big guys up front in this game. We saw Melvin Hills, John Leday, Sandy Lewis. I mean, the trench guys, they actually got their hands dirty, did the difficult work, and I mean, what a game. Reagan caught up with John Moore-Leday after the game, and he asked him what goes on in the trenches.
Me with our senior nose guard, John Leday. We had an amazing game, 2 huge sacks, fumble recovery on one of the sacks. What did it feel like having been able to come out and play such a good game tonight?
Man, just blessed and get to play with my friends, my family, and just so glad we came out to W and then on to the next week. Thank you, Lord.
Yep. I got to ask you about it. You're down in the trenches. We usually highlighted Juwan or Jalen Noel, who's kind of the star players on the outside. Give us a little insight. What's it like in the trenches, man, in the nitty-gritty, every single play? Yeah, and obviously what you could tell us.
I ain't gonna lie to you, the most you can think about is World War II, every single play. Like I'm not Joseph. O-line, D-line go through everything. You see, like that guy right there, oh my, Melvin Hills, we go through everything. Like one of the plays I said is the Battle of Gettysburg. Like, it's not been funny. It hurts.
Every play.
Every play.
Every play.
Trenches.
Well, it was fun to watch you, man. You balled out. Congrats.
Well, Amy, last Friday night.
Wait. Props to the history teachers that are actually teaching these guys that we're getting World War II and Gettysburg references. Come on, the academic
Boy,
department,
John
you're doing
Moore.
your job.
John
Come
Moore
on.
Leday
All
in the
right.
house.
All
Well,
right.
Amy,
You do your thing.
last Friday, another LCA career record was broken. Most tackles in a career by an LCA Knight. That record was set by Nick Picard, a linebacker of former years. In fact, Nick was part of the 2017 and 2018 state championship run by the Knights. Well, that record came crashing down this past Friday night. Sam Taylor needed 5 tackles to tie, 6 tackles to take the lead, if you will. So what does he do? He gets 11. And the all-time career tackle leader for LCA Knights is none other than Sam Taylor. Reagan caught up with Sam and talked to him about his record-breaking performance.
Here with senior linebacker Sam Taylor, captain of our defense. They switched up their offense. They were running the ball a lot more than they started. They even took out quarterback at one point. They were just switching out running back. What was it like on that defensive side, just them coming straight down the middle all game long?
It took a little bit to, I guess you could say, change to what they were running, because previously we're in a pass set and then they come out with the 8 linemen, 2 little fullbacks, and then the one guy out to the side, and it's like you expect and run. So it took a couple plays to interchange to a run set, but once we got the run set, we got it down. We stopped them. They couldn't do nothing.
Now, tonight you finished with, I think, around 10 tackles, which actually put you as the most career tackles as an LCA Knight player. You've broken the record formerly held by Nick Picard. And so how's it feel, man? You're new record holder at LCA.
I don't know. It's great. It's great. I mean, you can't focus too much on the personal goals. We got to focus on the main goal, winning the state championship this year. We didn't win it last year. We got to get this year. So it's great. It's celebrated at home, but tomorrow get back to work for that state championship.
Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Well, Sam, a senior, his final campaign, still has several more games to go, Amy, and that new record will only continue to rise.
Speaking of records, Juwan, another stellar night. He finishes 304 total yards, 4 touchdowns. After the game, Reagan caught up with him, and they were able to talk a little bit about the Tiger blitzes that he was dealing with all night.
Here with our starting quarterback, Juwan Johnson. Tonight, impressive numbers, 4 or 5 touchdowns. Again, 4 or 5, what's the difference, man? But tonight we saw a lot of unorthodox defense. They were kind of putting a bunch of linemen, at 1.78 linemen, blitzes from everywhere. What was it like in the backfield with a different look tonight?
They definitely were sending in anybody actually. I think I seen a coach come in and blitz one play, but they had a crazy defense that we didn't see, honestly. So they showed us something new and we just had to adjust to it.
Sure. Watching all of your different weapons, man, tonight y'all dished the ball out to everybody across the field. Jalen had a great game, but really all your different wide receivers. Was that something y'all were planning to do coming into the game?
I don't really know, honestly. I think it was just the game plan. We let the game take over. Jalen Tutu, he had a lot of yards, which made the offense, made them come up, what made the receivers be open. So it really started with Tutu and the linemen, and we just took over there.
Yeah, enjoy the win.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Even the coaches were blitzing, Amy.
Coaches were blitzing.
Great stuff. All right, Amy, let's take the time to talk about the Juwan Watch. We've covered it all year long. We'll give you some updates. The current LHSAA record holder offensive yards is Brock Berlin of Evangel Christian. That record set 13,659 yards. Coming into last week, Juwan Johnson had the record at 11,885 for his career. That put Juwan 1,774 yards away from breaking the record.
So last Friday night, Juwan finishes 304 yards, 4 touchdowns. Now the new grand total he's at, 12,189 yards. He is 1,470 yards away from breaking Brock Berlin's record. He's got 6 potential games remaining, including the playoffs. That means he would need to average 245 yards per game. I mean, is this fun to watch or what?
Side note, the last 3 games, Juwan has played 1 offensive possession in 3 games in the second half. 2 games he did not even see the field. Now, it's hard to get offensive yards
When you're not in the game.
when you're not in the game, and when your defense is shutting down your opponents and you have to pull the starters. But anyway, so exciting to watch. It's been fun. It's a great storyline that has been captivated and captured by all kind of individuals all over the state. And everybody is counting down. We're 1,400 plus yards away, and we're pulling hard. We'll be watching tomorrow night. You get a chance to see him live at Knight Field. Homecoming 2023. Your Knights will host the Patriots of North Vermilion. Before we go on with the show, can we just talk about Jalen Noel for a moment?
I know. That name, I mean, we talk about Jalen as much as we talk about Juwan, and I'm telling you, he's special as well.
I said it on our Night Vision broadcast on week 1, and he looked different coming into this year. He had a different mindset. Of course, he got a little faster. He got a little stronger as he moved from his sophomore to his junior year. And he has just been on a mission. The last 2 weeks, Amy, 2 back-to-back 100-yard games. And he's got 621 yards rushing on the season, 12 touchdowns, 348 yards receiving. In fact, he threw a pass last Friday night. He threw it to Juwan for 20 yards. He's 100% completion rate. I mean, this kid is all over. I love the way he plays the game, such passion. And he's not afraid of anybody. Have you noticed that?
I don't think there's anybody on this team that's afraid of anybody, but with that running back mentality, he just puts his head down and goes.
In fact, the bigger they are, the more fun he has with them. That's all I can say.
He's fantastic.
And here's the great thing.
North to south in the
Only a junior. Gotta love it.
All right, so let's move and talk about tomorrow night. Patriots are coming in 2-6 on the season, 0-3 in district play. Last year, the Knights went to Maurice. They won 34-0. Now, the Patriots finished last season at 7-3. It is considered a rebuilding year for North Vermilion, but tomorrow night, homecoming 2023, I mean, all week has been toilet paper, shopping, dining, pep rallies, costumes. I mean, it's been crazy around here. And Hunter Landry said it earlier. It is a coach's nightmare to play LCA on homecoming week. Now, I believe the Knights are coming focused, though. They know the mission is yet to be accomplished. When last year ends the way it does, they are not forgetting where they want to go and what the end result is. And as much fun as the week can be come Friday night, it's time to get to business.
It is. Well, last week, Amy, let's shift gears real quick. Last week, we talked about 2-time three-peat state champion. That's the LCA Lady Knight basketball team. Well, there's another team that shares that same court that has pretty much just the same success over the years. We're talking about the LCA boys basketball team. They've had their share of fame. They've hung their share of banners in the Plex. And this week, KnightCast got an inside look at the basketball practice with Coach Jacob Broussard, as well as getting to sit down with the top player in the state, Cam Williams. Not only have the Lady Knights basketball teams had success on the court, so have the boys. In fact, the Knights have been to 9 straight top 28 appearances from 2014 to 2022, coming out as champions 3 times and runners-up twice. This week, we got to get an inside look at Coach Jacob Broussard's practice and look at the top player in the state, Cam Williams.
Ready, go.
Coach Broussard is beginning his 4th season as head coach, and with a heavy senior class, he is excited about this year's possibilities.
We have a ton of returners from last season's team. We'll have 4 seniors that are just playing basketball, and then we'll have 3 seniors that are coming from the football team that'll be here in mid-December. Fell a little bit short last year, had some injuries, and some things didn't go our way towards the end of the season. But looking forward to a really good year.
Senior Cam Williams, the youngest brother of the former LCA great Greg Williams, said he is on a mission this year. In fact, after last year's second-round early exit of the playoffs, Cam took some personal responsibility.
We had talked in the locker room. Everybody was kind of sad and stuff, and we really let everybody down, losing the second round last year. So I made it myself, point to myself that I wasn't going to let everybody feel like that anymore. So ever since that day, I made a promise in the locker room that I'm gonna push him to be harder, push him more mindset or whatever. So this year we really got a mindset of winning, just simply winning. That's it.
What Jacob and Brandon Shelvin are going to do with this team is going to be very exciting to watch. I mean, they've got the #1 player in the state. They are absolutely hungry after the disappointing exit that they had in the playoffs last year, which basically means they're looking to start another 9-year streak that will be a kick for everybody else to be able to watch. I mean, I hear Cam has found his way to get a little mean this year. You know, I always said that about Cam. He was so good, but he just always was just Cam, you know?
Nice guy.
And you know, that aggressiveness, if he puts the aggressiveness with that talent this year, he's unstoppable.
Well, at practice this week, when I got to watch firsthand and I saw his demeanor, and I'll tell you, I think it's going to be very fun to watch.
Yes.
And with that, let me just give you some breaking news, Amy. KnightVisionTV, LCA basketball, after meeting with both head coaches, KnightVisionTV will be broadcasting 7 of their games this year in what we're calling double headers. In other words, the state champion girls will play first, followed by the LCA Knights on 7 different occasions. So one night, 2 games, 7 times, Night Vision TV in the house. It's going to be exciting.
So does that mean during basketball season we're going to do a few night casts as well?
I think that's on the...
I think we got to do it.
Got to do it.
Think we got to do it. I want to call Cam and Jada highlights. That's all I'm saying. So, hey, I want to give away some money
Let's do it.
now. All right. Every week, Reagan Miller hits the stands. He's looking for the best dressed, loudest, most exciting Knight fan that's in the building. Well, last Friday versus Westgate, it was Hunt the Tigers, Camo Night. Last week's winner, the junior classes, Nate Laverne, the camo, the 4-wheeler. This dude all out. All right, Nate, pick up your $25 Academy gift card in the elementary office this week. Nate, you weren't playing, so thanks for playing.
Man, shotgun, everything. I
Oh,
love
man,
it.
that was
Hey,
awesome.
I'm
Yes.
Second Amendment. Me. Amy, you know, with all of the blowout win over Turling's Catholic 2 weeks ago, we actually forgot to give some money away.
Oh.
We did. And so anyway, after the game, Night Vision TV crew was loading up all the equipment into the trailer. And man, we heard the singing, the shouting, this music, dancing in the parking lot. After further investigation, it was the Knight cheerleaders celebrating the big win in the Turling's parking lot with what? Where the Knights at? Check it out.
They don't want it! They don't want it! It's our time! Let them Knights say! Let them Knights say! Let them Knights say! Here come them boys! They don't want that! They don't want that! They don't want that! We're making noise!
All right. Well, how about this, girls? Since we missed you last week, how about this coming Monday? We'll have Chick-fil-A for lunch for all of the varsity cheerleading crew. Compliments of KnightCast, but really it's compliments of Raging Cajun Construction
Okay.
tonight. Thank you for that check.
Did they get that honey, pimento cheese, pepper jack?
Oh, gosh, I hope not.
Oh, God, it's so good. So
I can't
good.
even watch the commercial.
Well, you're missing out. You're missing out, Professor. You really, you got to get on board with that. Got to get on board. You and I, we're going to go to lunch and try it together one day. All right, with that, we're going to wrap it up. We want to thank our production crew, the camera operators, the stagehands, the director, the editors, and of course, Raging Cajun Construction, tonight's sponsor. Rusty and Aaron Broussard, you guys came through. Thank you so much for supporting Knight Athletics, for KnightCast, and for deciding to sponsor even though Professor X is on the show.
How about that? We'll see you all right here, same time, same channel, on KnightCast. Good night, Knight Nation. See you tomorrow night at Knight Field, Homecoming 2023. Look forward to seeing all of the former graduates on campus and Champions Row. We're back at it. Good night, everybody.